trees and power lines yesterday.
And Alabama Power is hard at work fixing power outages. How many customers are back online this evening?
And this weather system for our first alert weather day, of course, causing lots of problems in other parts of the country, including not only storms, but snow. It's all ahead on First Alert Weather Extra.
Live on your side, First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
And welcome into Weather Extra, Tania. A little bit, well, a little calmer. It's still windy out there tonight.
Yeah, it's still pretty breezy. It makes it feel cold, too.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
It's winter is trying to hang on here. And as we talked about, the wind gust tonight still could exceed 20 miles per hour this evening. Wind advisory still in effect.
All right, yeah, so windy conditions, and I was looking earlier. It doesn't look like these winds really calm down until about lunchtime tomorrow.
Yeah, they'll start to settle down tomorrow. A lot of you have asked us. We've had some questions and comments today on Facebook and all the social media about when is the windy weather finally going to settle down tomorrow, it looks like. And that's going to add a wind chill tonight. Let's talk about the next big thing here and the weather extra. It is back to winter time. We do have some rain coming this weekend. And if you've been with us here through 4 o'clock, you probably noticed we've made some adjustments to our forecast because we have the brand new data that's coming in. So we stay on top of it and we make sure that we modify that forecast as we get a better handle on what you can expect. And it does look like we're going to see some showers on Sunday and possibly some rain that could linger into early on Monday. So I want to show you that forecast coming up. Right now, current temperatures, we're at 43 in Coleman, 47 in Alabaster and Sylacauga, and in Birmingham, and just a blanket of cloud cover. This is all part of that same system that moved through last night. This is what we call the trailing upper level trough. It's a lot of cold air aloft, but it is keeping the sky cloudy, and you can see a steady flow of some of those clouds around, and some of these clouds are probably going to build back in across our area overnight. We might see some clouds in the morning, but we're already starting to see some clearing further south and some showers, as you can see, drifting across the state. I'm watching these areas to the north. Still some indications in here. See that? A little snow's trying to mix in with some of this rain, and there's still a chance that we could see a few flurries and some light snow over the northeast corner of the state tonight. But where we do have some rain, some light mist around Fairview and back in towards Holly Pond and Brooksville. Let's go in for a closer view here around the Brooksville area. Nothing too extreme here, but you can see around Highway 79 and 231 may run into a little bit of rain as this tracks to the east fairly quickly, but more of these showers drifting west to east across the area. South of Anniston, down around Mount Cheaha, you can see a little bit of rain there over towards Delta and parts of Clay County as well, some showers, and there is a little slither of rain. Let's go in here a little bit close to Columbiana, right in here around Wilsonville. Yeah, get in there a little closer. You can see there's some of that rain around 4 Mile and Highway 25. So cold, a few showers. Now most of the rain's going to move out of here. You can see, though, we are going to need to adjust the thermostat for those cold mornings. Tomorrow morning, the coldest, right at freezing, but we will be talking about the rain coverage. Look at this. Starts to pick up again by Saturday, Sunday, and now it looks like into Monday. So we'll be talking a lot more about that coming up in the extended forecast.
Well, thanks, Wes. We're getting a closer look today at the damage, though, that happened across our area by yesterday's high winds. In McCalla, you can see those down power lines, the down trees, and a wrecked SUV on the road. We're told the driver of the SUV actually tried to stop before hitting the down tree, but slid right into it, unfortunately. The car couldn't be towed today because Alabama Power had to come out to take care of those power lines first. And take a look at more storm damage across their area. This one in Argo, as crews work to remove trees from across roads and power lines. This large tree caused delays from school buses and commuters this morning, as well as trash and mail services.
And yes, it is a big inconvenience when there's trees down, power lines down, or wrecks, but what we try to get people to understand is we're out here trying to get it cleared up so they can safely get home.
And this afternoon, Alabama Power said that 85% of outages from yesterday's storms have been restored. They're still working on impacting and really helping the rest of those who are still without power. I've been seeing many of you sending messages about that. But those power outages actually affected about 180,000 customers from yesterday. Wes.
All right, yesterday's line did bring some benefits. It gave us some much needed rainfall. First Alert meteorologist Megan Thomas has more on how much rain we received and how high those winds were overnight.
After yesterday's storm event, we picked up some beneficial rain. I wanted to show you some of our weather watcher reports from Coker, Lamar County, Northport, Hackleburg, Oakman, and Alabaster. First off, thank you so much, Ronald Hughes. Picked up almost 1.6 inches of rain in Hackleburg. Zachary Kelly, 1.36. And then our friend Sarah, 1.3 inches up in the city of Oakman. And then over in Lamar County, we've got Tony coming in just under an inch and a half. Alabaster, we've got John King at 1.3. And then in Northport, our friend Bud Bean, 1.38 inches of rain. So we were averaging, when we were looking at some of the model data coming in, anywhere between about an inch to an inch and a half. And it does look like from our reports from our fantastic weather watchers that we got very close. And for the month of March, we picked up already an inch and a half of rain in Birmingham, and that's the official report from the airport from last night. Tuscaloosa 1.63 inches, and then in Anniston just around 0.8 of an inch. Now, mind you, we're only 5 days into the month, so we still have a little ways to go to get back towards average, but we'll have another opportunity to get some rain as we head into this weekend. Now, looking at some of the peak wind gusts from last night, they were impressive. The Birmingham airport picked up a 55-mile-per-hour wind gust. Tuscaloosa 48, Haleyville 46, along with Anniston, Winfield 42 miles an hour. Gadsden and Etowah County 41, Talladega 40, Jemison 40, Alabaster around 39-mile-per-hour winds, and then Jasper also at 35. So not only did we get good rain, we saw a lot of wind that again led to, unfortunately, trees down and power outages. But big shout out to all the linemen and women who have really been helping restore the power across the state. We appreciate all the hard work, and remember, again, another risk for rain possible this weekend.
Check this out. This video from Texas. Ahead on First Weather Extra, we'll actually have more on the dust storms part of that state is experiencing.
All right, welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. We are seeing a lot of clouds here across the region, this big trough as that system that brought all the rain and storms. Well, today, if we go over to the radar, you'll see that a lot of that active weather now pushing along the East Coast. Severe thunderstorm warnings you can see across places like New York right now. Some gusty winds and storms moving through. There are wind advisories. Look at this axis of snow that's dropping south here across Kentucky. That's some of that winter weather that could drop into Tennessee, far north Alabama. These are actually winter weather advisories that are in effect across parts of Tennessee. This is just outside of Nashville. This is between Nashville and Knoxville areas there if you are traveling in that particular region. But one thing I am noticing here, if we go back over to the satellite data, you can see that the next system, it's starting to impact across the southwestern U.S. This is what's going to be moving in over the weekend. Let me just show you this. Model data now showing late on Saturday, a system that's actually going to track a bit further south and move across the state, but it is going to bring some rain after 4 o'clock on Saturday. Rain moves in. Could have some heavier rain and storms Saturday night. Not seeing a severe risk at this time, but some of that wet weather could continue into Sunday and possibly into Monday of next week. So we're going to talk a lot more about that in the extended forecast. Tania?
Well, thanks, Wes. We're tracking more damage from the powerful winds that came through yesterday. This right here, a large tree fell on a home in Tuscaloosa County. Diane Sappington and her 2 renters live there. She says it was loud when that 60-foot pine tree crashed into 2 bedrooms of the home. Luckily, though, the 3 of them, were sitting on a couch in the living room at the time and are okay.
It was just a big thud and no crack, like I say, because it was uprooted, but the crash of the limbs hitting that tin, and then we knew something bad had happened.
And this isn't the first time something like this has happened to the home. 2 years ago, a 155-year-old oak tree fell on the other side. Sappington says she knows the power of storms. Her dad died in a tornado in Oklahoma back in 1957.
And today, power outages forced 3 Birmingham City schools to close. There was no power at Wilkerson and Jones Valley Middle Schools. Parents had to pick up their children at 10 a.m. And students at Wylam, were allowed to dismiss at 10:30 because the power was out in most of those classrooms. And the plan is to resume classes tomorrow. If that changes, the district will let the parents know. Of course, if you go to WBRC.com, you can always find that closing information. Tania?
Well, take a look at this video today from Iowa. You can see snow blowing around on the highway, making it impossible to see. The weather caused some trucks to go off the highway, matter of fact, and the worst, though, of the storm is over. But more snow is unfortunately expected in the forecast later this week. Us and Iowa aren't the only ones getting windy conditions. Check out what's happening in Texas. Tuesday, a dust storm fueled by powerful winds caused delays at the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. This is what it looked like Tuesday afternoon in Dallas. The FAA says some flights couldn't even take off because the winds were just so strong. This storm caused delays at other airports in Texas as well. But we'll have more right here. Coming back on First Alert Weather Extra. Stay with us.
Time to walk through this forecast, and tonight still a few showers possible. As you can see as we approach 8 o'clock here, still some clouds around and could see a couple of snow flurries try to sneak in to the northeast, especially here in Cherokee County and north of Gadsden. Watch out. Winter's hanging on out there. This won't cause any icy issues, though, because the temperatures, you can see, we're going to be above freezing. Now, tomorrow morning, early in the day, the temperatures will drop close to that freezing point, but it's still kind of breezy. Notice these arrows. That's showing the wind out of the northwest, and early tomorrow morning, there's enough wind to where the wind chills could drop as low as 19 around places like Coleman, over towards Hamilton early in the day. So a first alert, Jasper, and back to Carbon Hill in those areas for temperatures right there. Feels like close to 19. But tomorrow, maybe some of these clouds in the morning, but we'll finally get these low clouds out of here and some sunshine for the afternoon. Temperatures in the 50s. Northwest wind is there tomorrow, not as gusty. These are forecast wind gusts, and I know it's still quite windy tonight. That's still going to be a factor for us overnight. Not as bad as last night, but you will notice that breeze out there, so bundle up. It's going to feel cold. Tomorrow by 10 a.m., wind gust around 12 miles per hour at Birmingham, 10 miles per hour here in Tuscaloosa, 15 Anniston. So that's more like it. And again, the winds continue to back off later in the day. So finally, things settle down as far as this weather goes later in the day. But I know it's back to winter time right now, but as we go to the weekend, temperatures will start to warm up into the 60s. Saturday's a day, clouds build in. Right now, the way we see it, showers in the afternoon, better chance of rain Saturday night during the evening. And we could have some storms. Need to keep an eye on this in case this all trends further north. There is some unstable air down into South Alabama we'll be keeping a watch on, but I do expect by Sunday, kind of like today, a trailing disturbance that will keep us cloudy with some periods of rain possible, some light showers Sunday and into Monday of next week. But look at that 80 degrees out there around Friday. You know, we head into that weekend of the 14th, 15th time frame there. Looks like another system that could generate some wet weather. How about some weather in the classroom? And had a great visit today out at Helena Elementary School. It was reading day for Read Across America, and I enjoyed reading stories to the kindergarten class, Miss Porian's kindergarten class, Miss Ling and Sellers and Allen and Posey, some first and second graders. Lots of Huskies there today having a great time enjoying reading, because reading is fun. Right, Tania? All right. Hey, teachers, you can sign up to be visited by a member of the First Alert Weather Team if you go to Weather in the Classroom. You can visit that on our website at WBRC.com. We have lots of activities there for you. You can sign up to be junior weather watchers, and also you can color the weather and send us some of those color the weather photos. Submit those on the First Alert Weather app, and even sign up to join Mickey for Mickey's Weather Kids, which is always lots of fun. Right, Tania?
It certainly is, Wes, but now it's time to go beyond the 7-day because, hey, listen, we know all so well about the weather here in Central Alabama. So I want to take you guys beyond the 7-day because could we see any more freezes? That's one of the big questions for us this season. And I know that many of you are probably wondering, I know it's cold again tomorrow morning, but is spring ever going to arrive? So let's take a look here at Beyond the 7-Day, our temperature outlook. And as you'll see, as we look across the United States, more below average conditions for our western states. But notice we could be seeing more above average temperatures March 13th through the 19th, getting right into that sweet spot, the middle of the month, which is good for those of you who are looking for some warmer weather. But what about rainfall? Well, here's that precipitation outlook, okay? It looks like much of the southeast could be dealing with above average temperatures. That includes us right here across Central Alabama. But coming up later this week, we'll actually be diving down and deeper into whether we could see any more freezes before we head into the spring season. Wes?
Well, there's a lot of things to see in the night sky. That includes a total lunar eclipse that's happening next week. Meteorologist Matt Daniels spoke to Dr. Deborah Bird from earthsky.org about what we can see when we look up this month.
Today we have with us Deborah Bird from earthsky.org. She knows everything about what you can expect in the night sky. And, you know, we had the planetary alignment at the end of February. Technically, you could see a couple of planets, not maybe all of them with your eye. What about the beginning of March? What can we expect, Deborah?
Well, the planetary alignment at the end of February is still in some sense kind of going on. There's still some wonderful planets to be seen in the night sky. So you can easily see Mars, Jupiter, Venus, and you might be able to see Mercury. It's at its best right about now.
All right. So what nights should we expect this? What time frame? Where will we be looking in the night sky to see some of these planets?
I mean, I think it's kind of a strange thing that everybody gets fixated on these dates because the truth of it is, those planets have been up there pretty much since December. I mean, they've just been up there, right? And people get all fixed in on these certain dates, but it's been hard for us to figure out why those dates. Like, why, I don't, maybe February 28th, I think was the last date I heard. I was kind of like, why was that an important date? I'm not sure why, because the planets are there. They're there every night. They've been there. They're still there. Saturn is not there anymore. And those faint ones, Uranus and Neptune, you were never going to see those anyway. They're really hard to see. You've got to have optical aid to see those. So Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are not there anymore, but you've still got the rest of them. You've still got Mercury, Venus, they're in the west after sunset, super easy to see any evening. And then you've got Mars and Jupiter higher in the sky. Jupiter is going to be near the moon on the evenings around March 5th. And Mars is going to be near the moon on the evenings around March 8th. And of course, we have specific charts for all of these, that you can come to earthsky.org and look and see exactly where the moon is going to be as seen from North America with respect to those planets. But they're up there. They're up there every night.
And so if I'm an amateur and looking at the night sky, the best way to look for a planet, just make sure I'm correct, you don't want it to be sort of shining or blinking. That's considered a star, right? It just needs to be one solid color, it's not blinking, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's hard for people to notice that the planets shine steadily and the stars twinkle. And the best way to notice that is to do it on a night when the moon is near a planet. So say you were looking on March 5th, then you would see this very bright thing near the moon, and that would be Jupiter. And then if you just look at any of the stars around there and compare it to Jupiter, you'll see that those stars are twinkling while Jupiter is shining steadily. So it'll start to kind of accustom your eye to that. But the really great way to find the planets on any evening is to recognize that we live in a solar system where the planets are orbiting the sun in a flat plane. And so the planets aren't like all scattered out in our sky in all different directions. They're located always in that flat plane, which translates in our sky to a line. So the planets are always in a line across the sky. And lo and behold, it's the same line that the sun and moon travel across the sky.
All right, and you just mentioned the moon, and there's something special to talk about next week going with the moon. Tell us about it.
Right. So the big event for March of 2025 is that there's going to be a total lunar eclipse visible throughout North America. Like anyone can see this. It's going to happen sort of in the middle of the night for us, starting on the evening of March 13th and kind of lapping over into the morning of March 14th. Super easy to see for anyone in North America who's outside and looking at that time. And this is a total eclipse. This is not like a partial. This is the, moon is going to be completely inside Earth's shadow, and it's going to turn that blood red color that everyone loves to talk about.
Awesome. I am so excited about that. And hopefully we'll get you back next week. You can give us some tips on viewing that total lunar eclipse. We'd love to have you back.
I come up with the top 5 tips for viewing the lunar eclipse.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Deborah Bird. earthsky.org. Always great to have you here. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Matt.
Well, I found a little bit of sunshine today in Millerville in Clay County. Leanne Blair said, hey, we had a few breaks. We're going to send some of that sunshine your way, but how about this view, Tania?
Oh my gosh, the sunsets today, beautiful. I even saw some of our reporters taking pictures of their setup with the sun setting behind it. Beautiful. Ajane sent me a picture.
What a glow. Kendra Kenworthy sending me that photo right there from UAB St. Vincent's. But what a view. Send those in on the weather app. We have a cold night out there, lows near freezing, but spring returns next week. We'll talk about it tonight, first at 9.